Happy Information Wednesday, Chalyce McQueen here. Per my video, I wanted to dissect quickly what your auto policy actually looks like in terms of bodily injury, how the insurance company is going to pay out, of course, your property damage, and the uninsured and underinsured motorist. I'm not going to talk about any of the other jazz involved in your auto policy because I think you all get it. Collision, comprehensive, glass coverage, you name it. I'm just going to stick to the meat and the bones of this auto policy and kind of explain what this looks like in the event that you were to have an unfortunate circumstance and have a fatality car accident. So I thought it'd be better if I can show you guys an actual illustration on the whiteboard as to what this actually looks like. I'm going to show you in more detail first, but I just want to reiterate. So in Arizona, we have the statewide requirement for bodily injury in your auto policy is $25,050, which means $25,000 per person, a max of $50,000 per incident or accident. Property damage is required at $15,000 limit, and uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage is actually not required in Arizona. But because we're a border state, it's definitely important to have the coverage so you're not caught with your pants down, so to speak. So as you can see here, I have bodily injury listed with the $25,050 I talked about. And then of course I have property damage at $15,000. And then in this instance, we're going to pretend that this insured had waived uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, which means in the event that you are basically in an accident with someone that does not have insurance, we're not paying out. Definitely worth having this coverage. As I mentioned, we are a border state, so there are definitely drivers on the road that don't have the proper coverage and or insurance at all. So definitely worth having that coverage. I'm going to take property damage out of the equation momentarily, and I'm going to focus on what this looks like in the event that we did have a fatality. Again, using the same numbers that we have for Arizona requirement, which is $25,050. And so in the event that this accident was fatal, all of that is going to be paid out by your insurance company is at $25,000. If there was two people involved, then that would be $50,000. If there's more than two people involved in the accident, there is no coverage and you do have liability there. As you could imagine, we have the $25,000 that the insurance company maxed out to pay for someone's death. Well, what's likely going to happen, everybody, is they're going to get sued. So say someone sues for $500,000. This is a $475,000 deficit. What happens if they're awarded suit? They're going to garnish wages, probably put a lien on the house, if not force foreclosure, etc. This is why it's beyond important to have an umbrella policy so you're not on the hook for that $475,000. If you had $1 million umbrella policy, this completely is wiped out and washed away. If you don't have an umbrella policy, you probably should start saying goodbye to all your assets. This is a really grim conversation. I apologize. But again, the past week, 2 different people have been killed via a car accident. So it is a real reality that we need to address. And on top of it, this first thing I did I think it was last Thursday night, when I heard that my client had this incident, is I upped my own umbrella policy to $2 million. So the last thing that I want to see happen is my hard work and my home and my assets be removed because of an error, whether it's mine or someone else's. Again, it does not stop somebody from filing suit. Even if the insurance company does a full investigation and you're found not at fault, that does not deny someone the right to come after you. And then at that point, you're up to a judge and a jury who may think completely different despite the facts that the insurance company came into. So number one, statewide minimum insurance is not enough. Again, whiplash alone these days has an award of $18,000 to about $28,000. So right there, you'd be on the hook for some liability just by whiplash alone. Above all, I do think it's important and necessary to have an umbrella policy. My umbrella policy costs me per year about $560, and that is for $2 million worth of coverage. So I have peace of mind knowing that I have that umbrella policy that's going to cover my home, my auto, and any other toys I may have or future purchases as far as investments. So definitely well worth the expense of having the protection. So are you protected? As always, thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the grim conversation, but it was an important one to have. It is absolutely just devastating to hear what happens to certain people and their families. So just make sure that you have you and your family protected. And if I can be of any service, as always, please feel free to reach me at cmcqueen@farmersagent.com, or you can call me at 602-525-5665. We'll see you next week.